Coming up on this week's Collegian Report, SDSU's fall enrollment numbers are out, and we'll tell you what they say.
Plus, we'll recap the annual Cafes Block Party from last week.
And I'll have your weekend forecast coming up. The Collegian Report starts now.
Welcome back to the Collegian Report. I'm Ellis C. Fodder.
And I'm Andrew Levno. SDSU's fall enrollment has reached its highest point since 2017. Over 12,000 students are enrolled in classes this semester. The numbers are highlighted by nearly 6,800 students being from in-state. The figures also show an 83% retention rate, which is the second highest in school history. For more information, you can find the story on sdsucollegian.com.
The 9th annual One Day for State was held last Thursday, September 4th. The event has tripled from just 2,000 donors in its first year. Over $3 million were raised over a 24-hour period from over 6,000 donors. Erin Glidden with the SDSU Foundation says they were blown away by the response.
Donors get to pick where they want, so they're supporting colleges, departments, athletics, student orgs. But what you also are getting is that Jackrabbit spirit by everybody sharing their story on social media. You can't go on social media the few days around One Day for State without seeing the yellow and blue, which is amazing.
The event has had considerable growth, with just under 2,000 donors giving in its first year.
Looking for a job this semester? SDSU has some job fairs coming up. Director of Career Services Kevin Fullerton says the event helps connect students with employers.
It gives students a chance to, practice their sort of pitch on who they are and network.
The schedule kicks off next Wednesday with an engineering career fair. The dates for the rest of the event are on your screen now. For more resources, you can visit the Office of Career Development's website.
Coming up, the School of Communication and Journalism is getting its first ever endowed professor. We'll tell you what that means for the school and its students.
And Jackrabbit football is back at Dyke House Stadium. Cordell Vitance will join us for a preview.
Here's our target. We're shooting azimuth, head out. Rolling.
Great drill weekend, everyone. See you all again next month.
See what your future could look like by going to nationalguard.com/SD.
Welcome back. For the first time ever, we're bringing you the Jackrabbit Ag Report. Each episode will bring you the latest news from cafes. Today we're focusing on the college's kickoff event and a new face in ag communications. Last week, the College of Ag, Food, and Environmental Sciences kicked off the semester with a block party. Dr. Joe Cassidy, the dean of the college, says there's a clear purpose for the event.
We're having the Cafes Block Party to welcome all of our current and our new students and our returning students. It's just a fun way to kind of kick off the semester, give the students an opportunity to socialize a little bit, meet some of the faculty that maybe they haven't met yet, maybe meet some students that are in other departments and other majors that they haven't had a chance to meet yet. And we have some bag boards out here, and we're just having some fun and pizza and ice cream.
Emily Robbins, an ag business major, says she came to the social for a chance to see some familiar faces.
I came out to the block party tonight for free food and just kind of see some of my old campus friends and reconnect with them.
For junior ag science major Dustin Kolb, the block party shows what he likes most about the college.
I think the interconnectedness of just all the classes, the faculty, and the faces that you begin to see over and over until they're kind of like friends, and just being able to walk up to any professor within the College of Ag and know that you have someone that will be willing to help you out in any situation, whether it's grades or figuring out how am I going to make this class work.
The event brought over 200 students and many faculty to the Raven High Bay. Erica Summerfield will become the first endowed ag communication professor later this month. She says the honor is not just a reflection of herself, but of COJO as well.
This is a contribution to the program, not specifically like me as an individual. I love that I get to be the person in this position, but Karen D. Stuck is who saw promise in our program and saw hopefully the longevity of AgCom, and really this contribution will make sure that we have a program that is thriving for years to come.
Summerfield will be officially named with the title during an event later this month.
And now, your weekend forecast with Emily DeCock.
Today you can expect partly sunny weather with highs in the mid-80s. Tonight we'll get down to around 66. Sunday you can expect clouds and highs in the low 80s, and there's also a possibility for showers and thunderstorms. It's looking pretty nice for the football game Saturday, and we'll be in the 80s for most of the day. There's a southeast breeze in the 10 to 15 mile per hour range, and there's also a slight chance of showers after halftime. Kickoff time versus Drake is 6 p.m. at Dana J. Dykehouse Stadium. Temps will stick around the mid to upper 70s into the evening.
Now Cordell will have a look at sports. Cordell, I hear it's the blackout game this weekend.
Yeah, big game for football. Volleyball's having a big tournament, and soccer's at home this weekend. A lot of sports going on.
Yeah, it's actually a really busy season for us.
Yep.
What's all coming up? Tell us about it.
The Jackrabbits got a big win on the road at Montana State last weekend. The game came down to a 4th and 1 in double overtime. The SDSU defense got a stop to beat the Bobcats 30-24. Coming out of 2 ranked wins without a loss is a good start to the season. Coach Dan Jackson feels this tough stretch sets them on the right path.
Yeah, I think the schedule initially, I looked at it and a lot of people are like, man, this is a lot more challenging than your typical first few games here. But I thought, in a lot of ways it's going to be good for our team to be tested early. And, I wanted to find out the areas that we needed to improve on. And when you play versus good opponents, we've been fortunate enough to come out on top and win those games. But, solid opponents really show you where your weaknesses are.
The Jacks return home to host Drake in the Beef Bowl. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. for the annual Jackson Black game. The women's soccer team is also back in Brookings this weekend. SDSU will host Northern Colorado for their annual Gold game. The game raises funds for childhood cancer research. The Jacks and the Bears will kick off at 1 p.m. on Sunday. They continue on a 5-game homestand with Wyoming on Thursday at 7 p.m. The SDSU volleyball team is off to a hot start. After a good start on the road, the Jacks returned home for the annual Jackrabbit Invitational. They won both games, sweeping Ole Miss and taking down Wyoming 3-1. Now they head back on the road, this time to Minneapolis to take on 3 quality opponents. SDSU will start the weekend off with Dayton at 3 p.m. on Friday. They play South Florida at 2 p.m. on Saturday and cap off the tournament playing host Minnesota with first serve at 3 p.m. on Sunday. The Jacks will be back home next weekend with back-to-back games against Boise State.
Sounds like the ladies have a really tough schedule coming up.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, I would want to follow along all weekend just to see how it turns out.
Yeah, 3 tough games for volleyball and a full schedule for football and soccer. It's going to be an interesting weekend for SDSU sports.
Yeah, I think it'd be worth following along for.
Definitely. The University Program Council hosted its first ever DIY dorm decor event on Monday, September 8th. Students made crafts like clay magnets and decorating doormats for their spaces. UPC Arts Coordinator Jalea Cambites says the event seemed popular for students.
I would say it exceeded our expectations. Obviously, we only had seating for like 70, but I think probably at least 100 showed up, so that's really cool.
The next UPC event is auditions for Jack's Got Talent next Wednesday, September 17th. That's all for the Collegian Report this week.
You can find more information online by going to our website at sdsucollegian.com or following along on social media at SDSU Collegian Media.
Thanks for watching.